this nature to something to focus on that can help us. So that's what we would call meditation. It's what we feel is healthy. Number five is maintaining social connections, which we try to do here um, by building, rebuilding, protecting, reinforcing good, positive relationships with each other here. And then setting realistic goals. So you guys can hear hopefully you see a pattern. The things our community, the topics we talk about, or the things we digress into are really good for your mental health and our mental health. Having a good, strong community and social connection. Um, Relaxation techniques, we don't really talk about or focus, but we will today. And setting realistic goals. Candy, do you remember what that acronym is that we use all the time for
Smart.
goals? I I know you're smart, Candy. See how she just blurts things out like that. Yes, you're smart, Candy. But what's the acronym? It
Smart.
is it is smart.
As
Good job. It is SMART. We're having fun today, guys. SMART is the acronym. It means specific, right? Your goal should be specific and
admirable.
measurable. It means it should be
Cheerful.
achievable and it should be realistic or related to your biggest goal, your big goal, and also time
Funny.
bound, right? Exactly. And this way you stay encouraged as you accomplish your goals. And sometimes people only set a long term goal. I want to be a doctor. Okay, great, but that's an 8 or 10 year program. You need to have specific, measurable, achievable goals along the way. So that's the gist of it, guys. We caught you up from yesterday, and I put 90 minutes, but we can do another round after Candy goes into her evening routine. We can go into another round of people on stage and discuss this a little more. So, first impressions, Candy, on our topic today.
Okay, I want to mention something about the tips yesterday because I was not here yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, you mentioned some good sleep, the eating habit, and exercising. And
Staying active, yeah.
yeah, and as for this year, I want to exercise more. The reason is that I want to build my muscle, and another reason is that I think um, exercising a lot can reduce a lot of stress, definitely. And when I do the exercise, I feel very relaxed at that time. And as for the sleep, when I feel very stressed, I couldn't sleep very well. So I do think that when I have a good sleep, it means that I don't have much stress at that time. And as for the eating habit, I try to cook by myself more instead of ordering the takeout. And as for the realistic goals, um, as I learned from your lesson, it is smart goals. I need to make sure the I need to match with the acronym with smart.
Yeah, yeah, it's really important. You know how, guys, we have people on stage, or sometimes Candy and I talk about it. Um, let's see. Um, yeah, we'll bring you up, Lynn. Give us a moment here. Um, Sorry, guys, I had a glitch. I'm actually a robot.
No
Um,
problem. But
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes I couldn't control the way that I think. Sometimes I feel a little bit negative at my on my emotion. I feel not very good about my emotion, so I couldn't control the way how I think about the things going on. So it's the thing that I'm not pretty sure if you are the same, that you couldn't control the way you think.
No,
So
no. Mm.
yeah, so I think we need to come up with some methods to to change or adjust from the negative to the positive.
Well, it's true. It's true. And guys, she was talking about the SMART goals, and it is important to be engaged in your learning, active, like those of you who can't get on stage. I kind of scolded Lillian yesterday, Candy, because Lillian was doing what she does in the chat. Me, I want to be on stage. I got to tell you something. It's great news. I got to go. And it was at the end of the live stream, and I said, Lillian, you have my direct message. You have my WeChat. Why do you always have to tell me on stage? Why don't you update me by direct message? And she said, okay, okay. So she still hasn't sent me a message yet. I hope I didn't hurt her feelings.
Mm.
But specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, or related, and time bound. The SMART goals are really important because those of you who can't get on stage, I often see you typing in keywords like Candy will, words that you hear that you think are new, you'll type them in the chat. It shows me you're actively listening and engaging, whether you can get on stage or not. And if you don't have that approach to learning English, you're always going to be waiting to get on stage in some live stream. You're always going to use the excuse that you don't have a native speaker to practice with. All these things are going to hold you back. And if you don't use the SMART goal approach, you're always going to have this long range goal that you can't reach, that you've always wanted to do, that all people around you know you're capable of, but because you didn't have different milestones to focus on, you may never, well, I can't get into a good college. Well, I can't get a good job. Well, I can't get the specific thing I was trying. You're going to have excuses that hold you back. So, SMART goals are a way of engaging and giving yourself deliberate direction, and of course, you'll adjust those goals as you go. Um, but but keeping good mental health and staying focused, and Candy's talking about whether we control our emotions or our thoughts. Of course, women go through a lot of physical changes. This is not, I'm not joking about this. I'm not trying to be mean or insensitive towards them. Physiologically, your chemicals change dramatically every month, which affects your mentality and your emotional response. It's a fact. I'm not being a guy and making jokes about it. I'm very sensitive and aware of this reality. Some of you, it's more extreme than others. Some months, it's more extreme than others. So women are have the opportunity to be more adjusted and have things in place to learn how to deal with that because you're challenged with it in a way that will cripple most men if we had to deal with it, but you're challenged with it every month and you have to deal with that reality all the time. Some women do deal with it, some of them just let it take them away. But there are things you can do to create a framework of response that helps you to identify when things are off track and have a plan in place to respond. And one of the things we also talk about comparing like exercise routines or self defense. Ladies, if you don't practice a planned response to an aggressive person trying to control you physically, then you're more likely to panic and freeze if someone tries something aggressive with you. So if you practice a response to what to do if something happens, how to break away a hand if someone grabs your throat and you push this way, you're just pushing their hand into your throat. But if you push this way, their thumb can't hold on. So you have to practice with friends. Someone grabs you here, you hit towards that side. They can't stop you even if you're a little woman and it's a big man because their thumb is not strong enough to hold your neck. So I know this sounds funny, or maybe some of you are not understanding why I'm talking about it, because if you don't have a plan and you don't practice with muscle memory, you're more likely to freeze up and panic and let the situation take you wherever it wants, which could mean something very severe, right? So if you do practice simple things, not becoming a black belt or anything like that, but practice ways to be able to get away, how to respond and get away, then you're more likely to respond and get away when those things happen, if they happen. I hope they never happen to anyone. And if you don't discover that you have an emotional response to certain situations and you don't put a plan into action, then you're more likely to give in to those emotional movements or that faulty mental pattern and you'll feel that you're a victim. Well, this is the way, it's because of this, it's because of my family, my parents, or this situation. I'm a veteran, and if I don't have things in place to prevent me from going down a traumatic stress disorder path, then I'm going to succumb to it. And I'm going to have things that trigger me and cause me to go into a mode that's no longer appropriate in my life. So, this is the kind of things all of us need to work on, and some of you more than others, and that's why we're talking about it. Candy, you're blurring. Is your signal going all over the place? Yeah, your image blurred like you were time traveling.
I searched a word in the dictionary. It
Good.
is
Which word?
succumb.
Succumb. Yeah, it's spelled
Succumb.
weird. Did you find it? Can you
Yep.
type it?
Succumb. S-U-C-C. S-U-C-C-U-M.
Yeah. It's really a cool spelling too. It's not it's That's why I'm glad you typed it. Thank you. Yeah, Lily, of course. At times, right? I'm not being insensitive, guys. I know guys often joke about that hormone change, but it's extremely dramatic for some women, and it's physiologically way different than men have to deal with. Way different. So you have to learn how to deal with that, and that same method of dealing with it, aware that it's coming, aware when it happens. I've had some people, friends in my life, tell me, "Hey, look, I'm a little bit off because it's almost that time." And because we know each other, they can say that. They won't say it to people in general. Or I can see something's off in the way they see things or the way they respond to things, and then they might tell me, "Hey, I'm sorry. It's because of," yeah, I know. No need to explain it. I know. Okay, guys, so let's get into it a little bit. Let's delve into it. There was someone raising their hand earlier. I got her right here. Lynn, thank you for being patient. We want to welcome you to stage. It says that you're originally from Vietnam, and so you're about the same time frame as Candy. Sorry, I went long in breaking that down. I hope that Lynn sees it. Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know I had it on.
Thank you for
Hi,
having me.
welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for waiting. Sometimes the preload is a little long because of me. Candy could have said all that in 2 words, but
Yeah,
yeah, for me it takes longer.
yeah,
Welcome. Are you in Vietnam?
yeah. Now I'm based in Vietnam and in Hanoi. Exactly, it's in Hanoi, the capital city of Vietnam.
Wow, cool. Candy was just visiting Beijing, which
The
is the
capital
capital
city of
of her
China.
country. Yeah. And I'm going to Philadelphia, which is where near Washington D.C., but not the same. Anyway, we're all here now, and did you want to come on stage because of the topic?
Yes, because the thing you are talking about, I experienced all of them. So I'm really interested in this topic, and now actually I'm trying to take a change for myself, like a improvement in my mental health.
Good, good. I was typing the topic just so you guys know. It's hard to do both for me. Um, yeah, engaging. I like that word. We have to be aware, and then you know what? We can learn patterns by interacting with our parents. As different as you think they may be, we all come from them. So patterns that they have may or may not be strong patterns in our life, but they could be tendencies that we have. And if we can look, you know how it's easier to look at the faults in other people instead of seeing the fingers that are pointing back at us? Like, oh, it's me. So I help my brother who has different parents. He's my Christian brother from church. And so he'll say things about his dad or his mom, and I can see those things in him. And so at times when he keeps complaining about them and what they do, and I'm like, hey, um, that's you. You do some of those things. Really? Yeah. So he can take steps now to prevent those things from getting, worse and worse. And so, do you see patterns, Lynn, or even Candy? Do either of you see patterns with your parents, either in the memory of your parents growing up or in the way they may act now, that you um, realize are in you as well.
Is it okay? Yeah, Kenny, do you wanna go first
Okay,
or me?
So nice.
so you mean
Thank you
that
for doing
our
that. That's
parents
cool.
just affect us by emotionally? Am I right?
Well, well, so I mean inherited patterns, like the way they respond to situations or the way they. So I yes, of course, any way that they may have treated us or raised us could have an effect on our mental health. But patterns that they do that you may have criticized and then you go, oh wait a minute, I kind of do that.
Yeah, I think so. Even though I didn't live with my parents since I was young, when I was 12 years old, I do think that I behave like them a lot. I couldn't realize, or I didn't come to realize that my behavior is similar as them, but some of my relatives just said to me, Candy, you behave like your parents. And a lot of people just said that when you grow older, your behavior is more similar as your parents. That is beyond your consciousness.
Yeah, yeah. But and it takes having friends that would recognize it and tell you in a way that you can receive and we can change, we can evolve kind of. Like I remember my dad just talked a lot. That's my impression when I was a kid. Like he talks a lot. He talks a lot.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he wouldn't punish me with spankings or anything, but he would because he was 55 when I went to live with him and I was 9. So being a wise man, he realized in a few short years I would be bigger and he'd be older. And so he took time to lecture and engage. And at the time, I'm like, oh, shut up, man. So he was a talker, but I found out that I can use it to be a communicator, to actually connect with people, not just to talk, but to actually. So I kind of, I think, even though sometimes you guys might say I just talk and talk and talk, but I'm processing my thoughts. So I understand him better, and I think I've given it a better direction. But the jury's out on that one. Okay, Lynn, thank you so much for being. I appreciate that you let Candy go first because she's our co-host, but she's also learning, and so she likes to engage in these topics too. So thank you for doing that, Lynn. But how about you, Lynn? Do you see patterns with your parents that may be patterns in your life also?
Um, how do you say? I would say I have good parents, great parents in my life, but sometimes I I don't have a lot of things in common with them, and in how they educate me. Um, sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I'm listening. I'm just listening. Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah. Uh, and actually, I experienced a terrible time when I was a little child because most of my friends bullied me, and I just got out of this mental problems when I started going to my university, and and how to say, when I really remember at that time, it's so tough for me because no, I feel like that no one can understand me, and sometimes I also have a one. Sometimes it comes up in my head. It does. I just want to kill myself, but most of my friends in college and in my university helped me to overcome it, and now I'm a better person. I do appreciate it. Yeah.
Awesome. That's what great friends. What great friends you had that took the time to point that out to you and help you out. That's really cool.
Yeah, she's also named Ling. Her name is also Ling,
Hmm.
and she's my soulmate. And now we still as we were friends, and even though we have a distance, yeah, because she worked in the Philippines and I just went back to Vietnam, but we always keep in touch all the time, yeah, and help each others when we have big problems or some unhappy things happen in our life. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, that's good, and that's part of good social connections. Good ones, good ones. Sometimes we just accept the ones we have and we say that's what we have, but we don't realize they might be bad ones. And so when you have good ones like this, they did what good ones do. They bring things into the light from the darkness. They say, you know, the way you're thinking isn't logical. But if they're not good connections, there's an expression that people have to know that you care before they care about what you know. So you're not going to have their full attention unless they realize somehow that you really do care about them. Because when we're confronted with things, sometimes we push back, right? Right? When we're confronted with things, sometimes we push back. And if it's not a good relationship, some people are easily offended and they leave us alone with our bad thinking. And so it's really nice to have a friend or friends or good relationships that can say, you know, Jonathan, you're really good at making it sound okay, but your logic is not good. You're saying some really harmful things. What? What? I'm a communicator. Yeah, I started this live stream. But then I go, wait a minute, no, I didn't. And Candy was there from the beginning, and Monette. Hold on, hold on. These people are important in my life, and if they took the time to tell me this, I need to really think about it because I could be deceiving myself. Maybe I don't want to see it, but because we're friends and I know they care about me, I need to listen and consider what they're saying, and it can change your patterns. It's really good. So, how many of you out there practice relaxation techniques? How many of you out there have a technique that you practice that helps you to relax besides exercise? I mean, like a breathing technique or putting your mind on something better to take you out of the present situation. Anybody that does that? Does anybody take a deep breath when things are frustrating you?
Maybe.
Anybody?
I'm not. I'm not.
So it's Lynn, do you do that? Do you take a deep breath when you feel anxious or frustrated? Or do you ever hear yourself doing that? I'm not saying that you stop and go, okay, let me take a deep breath. It's normally a response that most people have when they are frustrated or when things they're like, wait a minute, wait, okay, all right, we're gonna do this. Anybody? Deep breath, deep breathe 3 times before sleeping. I hope you keep breathing when you're sleeping, Carmen. Yeah, but three. Do you? I know
Yeah,
what you mean. I'm joking. Oh,
actually,
go.
actually, actually, yes, because I practice meditation every single day. Yeah, and for me, now exercise is become a part of my life. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good. And Ratiani says she rarely takes a deep breath. Well, that you're aware of. And everybody, if you guys want to, in the chat, obviously, practice it right now and feel how healthy it is to take a deep breath. We'll do it like 5 times. We're not going to change the topic, but just stop and take a deep breath. Do it again. Don't feel silly. It's okay. I can't see most of you. Do it one more time. Just look around and see what happens when you take a deep breath. Am I the only one that feels like you're blowing stuff off? Like you feel lighter when you get rid of some of that stuff, whatever it is? I'm not trying to go MD on you, but there's something that really happens physiologically when you just stop and you intentionally breathe in more than you normally do, and then you blow it out on purpose. Now, obviously, you know physically, you take in oxygen, you blow out the byproduct of oxygen. Anybody know what the byproduct of oxygen is? Anyone? Carbon. Anyone? Carbon. Carbon. Anybody in the chat? Some people
Carbon
didn't
dioxide?
breathe. Some carbon what?
No, no.
Right. Good, Lily. Spell that out. Lily's like CO2. Is that dioxide or monoxide? Well, ZZ, you're falling asleep, so it doesn't matter what the topic is. In the chat, someone named ZZ, which means sleep. No, it's just 2 days. We didn't have it on Monday. And carbon dioxide. Okay, so di means two, so CO2. Good job, good job. Monoxide would be one, right? So carbon dioxide. Okay. Um, Blowing it off is important. You get rid of unhealthy stuff. You're breathing in good stuff. You're getting rid of unhealthy stuff, right? So when you intentionally do that, you end up feeling that relief. Because if you take shorter breaths, some of that dioxide can build up, and it can cloud your thinking. If you don't exercise, you don't burn off or facilitate getting rid of some of those toxins in your bloodstream, and you can feel crowded or traffic jam, right? But when you exercise, you're breathing in, breathing out, you're pumping all your blood, it's removing a lot of waste, it's bringing all the good stuff to your body. So I'm sharing that with you guys because if you don't do it intentionally, you don't feel the byproducts of it. So sometimes when you get frustrated or you get in a jam and you can't think of what to do. You're at work. You're like, okay, yeah, okay, just a minute. All right, hold on. Yeah, okay. Please hold on a second. You just go. Oh, okay, okay. Let me call you back in 5 minutes. Yes. No, but I'll tell you why in just a minute. And you can start to facilitate things, right? You can regain control. Same way, like someone said, I was joking with you, ZZ. Um, but who said they take three? I think it was three deep breaths before you go to sleep. Yeah, that's a good idea. It helps you to blow all that stuff off. No, guys, we've done the same topic 2 days in a row. Come on.
The way I say it, it's just not about doing exercise and great things. To me, the root of getting a good healthy is having a great healthy eating habit. That actually now I'm a vegetarian, so I try to get much vegetables and some fruits as much as possible every single day.
Absolutely, it's all part of it. And guys, for your information, we wanted to do mental health Mondays, but I had to work Monday, so we couldn't do a live stream. Yesterday was very good at launching a deeper discussion with people, so today I brought it back again. So I'm sorry for the same big topic 2 days in a row. But yesterday we talked about staying physically active, eating a balanced diet, and good sleep. And today we're talking about practicing relaxation, maintaining social connections, and setting realistic goals. There are 15 of these. I've sent them to both of our study groups, so you guys have them in advance. If you're not in our study group, ask Candy. She can add you, and then you'll be in the loop to understand. We're a community, guys. We're not trying to be the best live streamers and all of that stuff here. We just get together here because it's easy to interact with each other, okay? We welcome you guys passing through, but as you stay with our community, you'll see that there is a pattern. We do have a process. So yeah, and so setting realistic goals, maintaining good relationships, and practicing relaxation are our basic topics today. Candy, back to you. Anything you want to input on these topics? She's like, no.
I don't do the thing of breathing a lot, and I will say that I want to say. Normally, you couldn't see my anger things very easily at my workplace, and so I can control my temper very well, pretty well in my workplace. So, but I have some of my stress out of my my work, or I couldn't, I mentioned that I couldn't show my temper at my workplace. So I need to have a place to release my temper out of my workplace. Maybe it is a person, or it is something else that I need to let all my emotions out of my body, so that I need to make sure my body is relaxed. So when I was feeling not very good, I also can keep a good routine of my work, my life, and my exercising. But my mood or my feelings in my heart is not very good. So it seems like no one can help me to let me to be more optimistic. Sometimes I'm a little bit pessimistic. It is a word.
Pessimistic? Mm-hmm.
Pes-
Pessimistic?
Pessimistic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's good. And guys, when we talk about these topics, some of them will affect you differently than others. And so being aware that you may not have these good health, mental health producing things in your life is first. And second, you have to try to practice them in order to get the benefits of them. If you realize that you didn't have a healthy diet, like Lynn was talking about, she gives priority to vegetables and fresh food. If you didn't, and you heard Lynn say that, and you realize that you're eating cheeseburgers every day or something like that, you might think, maybe that's why I don't have the kind of good mental health that I want. And I will try it. I will change one of my meals a week to be focused on a good salad or something like that. You have to implement it for a period of time to see the results of it, whether it's the deep breathing, whether it's building better friendships. Maybe some of you are thinking, all of my relationships are kind of mediocre. They're not really strong or good or healthy. Maybe I should try to build my relationships better that would give me more peace of mind and more relaxation. Or maybe some of you don't work out or don't deep breathe, like Candy's talking about, because you haven't had to. But since you think, I don't do it, maybe I'll try it and it will make me more optimistic instead of sometimes I become pessimistic. So it's about discovery, guys. Not all of these are going to fit all of you, but just think about it and then use it to look at your life and see if it's there or not there. If it's not there, consider that if you put it there and you did it consistently, it may benefit your mental health. That's all we're doing. It's not a prescription. It's not saying if you do all these things, you'll be perfect. But let's just find the void in your life and put something in it. Like, don't live life passively, like disengaged. Some of you are caught up in a life and you feel like you're just the mouse on the wheel, or you feel like you can't take time to think until you're already married with 3 kids. You're in this pipeline. I've got to finish high school. I've got to get into college. I've got to get a good job. I've got to get married before I'm 30. I got to, all of these got to, because you've been shaped that way. But then as you become an adult, you realize, hey, it's okay. It's okay to not be married by the time I'm 30. Because it is okay to not be married. Especially if you're waiting for someone or you're still developing yourself, then that's fine, guys. Maybe someone had a pattern and a plan for you, but it's okay if you're not in their plan for your life because it's your life, right? So
Yes.
many, many, many people are not. So I just share that because I'm aware of some people. And I want you guys to know this month I turned 55. And guess what? Right? And I'm okay with that. And so we'd all like to have someone to share life with, but sometimes I spent 20 years focusing on developing my relationship with God and my position in life. And I didn't feel like I could engage in any other relationship until that was set. And I didn't plan on it being 20 years. But it is what it is, and I'm very content with my life now, but I'm open to change, right? So don't trip, as we'd say in the United States. Don't trip on little things. Just find out what can help you. Well, Lynn, as we talk about all these things, you've been very good to engage with us. And if you have questions off of the topic or comments, you can do that too. Do you have any questions for Candy or for me or things you want to talk about at this point?
Okay, I just have a question for you. And when you have troubles or uh, mental health problems, how can you overcome it?
That's a good question. When you have problems with mental health, how do you overcome it? Candy, do you have any input on that? If you have problems with mental health, how can
Yeah,
you overcome it?
except for doing yoga, reading books, some stuff like that. I just want to find out uh, new things from here, and I just want to hear uh, people experience. Yeah.
Good deal. Candy, any input?
Okay, the lesson that I got mm, from overcoming the pressure is to talk with my friends because I'm more introvert, so it's harder for me to talk with others and share my deep thinking with others. And I'm also sensitive, and I keep a very strong boundary with others. So, but when I meet a lot of challenges and difficulties, I couldn't figure out what the problem is. So I need to ask like help from others, even though I don't like this. So this is my lessons now. I need help from others. And in the beginning of my experience, I do think that I can do most of my things by myself. I don't want to bring any inconvenience or troubles to others because their life is also hard. So I don't know my question or my problem will bring some inconvenience to them. So if I can resolve it, I will do it by myself. So recently I just come to realize that if they are my close friends, they can leave their own things to divide some time with me and figure out what's the problem of my mental health.
Wow. That was so healthy. The way you said that was really cool, Candy, and thank you for being so transparent about that. That's great. Candy identified some areas in her life she's aware of her general personality type, and she's aware of things that she's trying to improve and do to increase her mental health with her social boundaries, with her personal way of processing things. And I think that's I'm really taken back. That was really well said. So awareness is key, Lynn. We have to know there or believe there is a problem or an area for improvement before we can start to improve, right? We generally need to know our own personality type. I say generally because that can evolve and change. And Candy's aware of being energized by her introversion, meaning time alone is preferred and time doing things by herself is preferred because she feels energized by that. But she also knows that there's a difference between solitude, which energizes her, and isolation, where she's not engaging with other people because she's afraid, right? So there's a healthy awareness. Now I'm extroverted, so I have to be very careful because I will not do solitude and I have to prescribe myself solitude in a healthy way so that I have time to defragment. And I do that when I go visit my mom in a certain city because I have time alone to think and journal and stuff like that. But most of the time, I don't need a lot of that. So, personality type, and then having friends that respect your strict boundaries. But also, friends will push on boundaries, won't they? Friends might ask a question, and there might be times where you tell them, hey, I don't talk about that, and reinforce your boundaries. Or there might be time where you go, I can trust this person and I probably should share this with them because we've been friends a while. So they don't know this about me. And then you reveal, you take a vulnerable moment and you share something, and then you see that you can trust them. They're very respectful and they protect it. They don't talk. And it helps you. It helps you to feel like you don't have to carry that yourself because you shared it. And so there's an expression in a scripture that says iron sharpens iron. In order to make an iron knife sharp, you need to use an iron file, right? It's two hard substances working together for the purpose of making one better. And it has to be intentional. It's not just, you don't sharpen a knife by hitting it with a hammer, right? You sharpen it by gradually dragging one hard substance against the other with intention. So, friends can help to develop one another by confronting certain things they see, by gently mentioning things that need to be worked on, or by giving some hard truths. Like, I'm like, Candy, what is with these people in my life? They're saying this, they're doing that, this gets on my nerves, that gets on my nerves. And Candy's like, Jonathan, um, the problem might be you. What? But they said this and that, and she's like, I know, brother, but I'm offering you this. I'm your sister. I care about you. I I really think the problem's you in this situation. I'm like, man, all right. All right, I guess okay, 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 okay. I guess I can see. I thank you. I can see what you're talking about, right? It's painful and you don't want it to happen, but because I know Candy cares like my sister, and if she cared enough to stand her ground and say, I think it might be you, bro. I think it might be you. See, it sharpens us. So that's healthy friendships are not just like, "Hey, give me a hug. Oh, yeah, you're so cool. Love your hair." Real friendships, ah, ow, oh, thank you for helping me. Yeah,
So, show my weakness or show my real needs with others is hard thing for me. Cause
it's
it's
hard.
hard for yeah, it's hard for me to believe others can support me without any some other things in their mind. I don't believe, but I try my best to believe, and I need to open my thinking, my mind, my heart to to my real friends. They carry me too much. Otherwise, I will hurt them because even though they did a lot for me, I couldn't open my mind and my heart to them, so they will very sad. They will be very sad.
Well, it takes time, guys. It takes time to build that trust and to try that trust. Sometimes people accidentally violate that trust, and so you need to confront that and rebuild on that and make it stronger. There are no perfect friends out there, guys. Friends are made, they're not discovered. Friends are made. Good relationships are made, they're built. And sometimes when you're building a house, you make a mistake. Sometimes it's a big mistake and you have to take down a whole room and restart with the foundation. Sometimes you have friends that violate trust, but maybe they didn't know the boundaries. You never talked about boundaries, or you never shared that you have a traumatic response to certain things because of parents or life experiences. I have to point out that teacher Steph is here. She's also like a sister to me. Her husband Tim is an amazing man, and she's in our chat. She's a live streamer. Normally, she live streams after us, but she's a wonderful person to just follow. Don't think about it now. Just click and follow Teacher Steph in the chat. I don't say this to promote her, but she's a very good friend of ours. And so I just want, it's good to see you here, Steph. And she's an actual professional teacher, guys, by the way. And but she also has very insightful live streams like this. And then she sometimes cooks stuff and lets you help her in the kitchen. And I was able to spend time with her and her husband at their home in Florida, a wonderful home. I'm so grateful. I wish I could do it every weekend. So, guys, this as we get into topics. Oh, Lynn, are you out of time?
No, no. Because you talk about the teacher stuff. I follow her when I started using this art. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
She's person here. Yeah, I learned
yeah,
from a lot. I learned a lot from her voice room. Yeah,
yeah.
and her.
She's amazing. And some of you guys uh, have to worry about mosquitoes and flies and things like that. But in Florida, they have to worry about alligators. Yeah, like wild alligators ending up in your pool or in your backyard. So yeah, alligators. I wasn't sure which one it was, Steph. Alligators or crocodiles. I'm not sure. Florida gators, alligators. I think it's yeah, I think it's alligators. She told me I would see one there. They have several lakes on her property or in her area, and at least they don't fly. So funny. Well, guys, we're letting some light humor here because whenever you do surgery or people open up to something very sensitive, it's important to let that resonate. But then it's also important to have some relief. So comedy relief can sometimes take the pressure off that exposed, sensitive area. And I see a lot of people wanting to come on stage, and I get it, guys. I'm not ignoring you all. Sometimes we're having a moment here, and I don't want to disturb what's going on here. After Candy goes into her evening routine, I will invite a couple more people on stage, and we can talk about this. We can rehash this. So just write down what you want to say, and we'll get to it. But also, don't think the only time to discuss awesome topics like this is with a native speaker on a stage. You're robbing yourself. Get some language partners, connect with them, and say, great topic today. Can we talk about it together because I couldn't get on stage? Do that because there's only one of me and one of Candy, and there's only 1 or 2 hours that we're together. So write down your thoughts and feelings, share them in the chat, find some people to connect with, and then have a make a little group and have a group call or something, so that you guys get the most out of this. Don't think the magic moment is when we're on stage together, okay? Candy, any other words?
No.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing today, Candy. I'm probably more aware than most people here of what you did today, so thank you for doing that, and appreciate your input.
Okay.
And yeah, you're going into your evening routine. See you
Bye bye.
later, alligator.
Bye bye.
Have a
All
good
right.
time.
Yeah, Lynn, you can stay as long as you can. I know you're not VIP, so you can stay until your time tells you got to go. And don't worry if they snatch you away quickly. It's not rude. It's just, we know that sometimes you get short notice and then you're gone. But you're welcome to stay if you want to.
Yeah. Thank
And
you.
uh, and I'll bring up some other people who've been patiently waiting. Vic is one of them. George has also been waiting. We'll invite these guys and see. Moon Lion, I see you're there, but I think you just joined the hand raise area. George, welcome
Johnathan.
back. Hello, my friend.
Hello, long time no see.
I know,
Yeah,
long time no
it's
see.
glad chatting with you. And how's it going?
It's going well. I need to just pop out. My brother sent me a text. I want to make sure I'm not missing something.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Uh,
Go
I'm
ahead.
yeah, I'm interested in this topic because you know it's my job. And this time is off season, so I
Mm-mm.
was frustrated and think about so many things and maybe have a lot of stress and yeah. But when I was frustrated, I couldn't read a book about handling it. So maybe you say the exercise. Yeah, I was play tennis in
Mm.
this evening. So I was better, right? I'm better right now. So yeah, um, you know, I I just wanna introduce my work. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
my work is export uh company. Yeah, in China. About the wine. Yeah, American wine and spirits. Yeah, it's both. Right. I
Mm-hmm.
do this job. It's maybe 8 years. Yeah, the job. This is my professional. So I love the wine. Um, because it's makes me happy, and this is I wanna learn English, because this is English is it's most significant for my work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just want to work hard, but this economy is not good. My for my work, this maybe uh those are months is off season. Yeah, uh, I need to work hard, and just maybe I will visit maybe 3 to 5 customers. Yeah, you know, discuss how's your I just want to ask them, and uh how is your business, and if you need bowl, maybe more wine. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
this is my job.
Okay.
Export.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah, yeah. It's tough times all around the world. Everyone
uh
has to diversify how we make money, right? Because
yeah.
things change, seasons come, seasons go. We have to always be flexible, and now more than ever, career paths have to change and be flexible because it could be here today, gone tomorrow, or
Uh,
it might have to evolve. As you get older, technology changes, the market might change. We have to get creative, but they say necessity
mm-hmm.
or extreme need, necessity is the mother of invention, meaning that when one thing fails or falters, it can force us into creativity and think of another way, another approach, another use of what we do, or another use of our skills in another area. But um,
Mm-hmm.
but what you said about exercising or doing some sport that help you to relieve the stress, those are
Mm-hmm.
just those things by themselves are useful to gain a healthy frame of mind. But if we're running to those all the time, or they're not effective as they once were, it could be that we're just being responsive and we're not taking the initiative to set up good health patterns, right? Like we're just responding to bad health, bad mental health, instead of creating a pattern of things that would promote good mental health. So exercise is part of it, good diet, enough sleep. That's a hard one for many people because they think they can sacrifice it without hurting anyone else. Or if you heard people say, I only need 5 hours of sleep a day,
Uh,
um,
five
you may only
five
get,
hour.
well, that's what people
Wow.
say. And but I'm a person who has had only that much sleep every day or less for my whole life, and I now know that I have a sleep problem that could affect my health eventually. So I'm on a machine that helps me sleep better now, but I
Mm-hmm.
still don't often give myself 8 hours of rest a day. I share that with you guys because if we analyze things and put good healthy patterns in place, then we'll reap the results of that. We might think that I can work until I'm stressed and then I exercise and I'm all better. Whereas ideally, if we had a balanced life with good health promoting, good mental health promoting practices, we may
Yeah.
actually never have a situation where we feel all stressed out because
Mm,
we
yeah.
have things that are constantly relieving that stress, like good sleep, good diet, good exercise plans, good
Mm,
relationships,
mm,
stuff like that. So I'm glad that you found relief and give you some frame of mind because of the slow season that you're in right now.
yeah. 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 I think so. You'll have energetic person. How yeah? How do you constant the energetic?
Um, well, first to answer the chat, yeah, I have a YouTube
Yeah.
channel, guys.
Yeah.
We have a YouTube channel. My energy is or my perspective on life is because I destroyed my life a few times.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did things wrong, even though everyone thought I was doing right. I was thinking I was a good person. I was pleasing the people around me, but eventually that hit a wall and I destroyed. Everything fell apart. I thought I was doing everything right. It all fell apart. My career, my family, everything, everything, everything. So I've hit that wall a few times out of frustration, but then I got on the right track. I understand my value and my purpose is not related to what other people think about me, and I realized that the abilities I have should be used towards a better purpose. And so, being able to help all of you in whatever ways I can is a reminder to me that my particular skills and abilities can be used in a way that can assist other people. And beyond making money, which I don't make money from that, um, it's very satisfying. It makes you feel like you're fulfilling your purpose in life. I know some people, they think I need to be at the top of my industry to feel like I'm satisfying my purpose. But for me,
Okay.
it's different. Um, but guys, if you're just joining us, I see you're new here. Welcome. Um, we have various topics, guys. Our topics are meant to provoke you to want to use your English. It's not, I'm not an English teacher, but we
Mhm.
do want you to think and speak in English, thinking and then speak directly in English. That's called fluency. And if you're excited about the topic, you won't
Yeah.
care what English you're using. You just want to give your answer or your experience. Ah, then you're promoting fluency. So today
Yeah.
we happen to be talking about deeper things. Yeah, as far as mental health
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah. That's good,
Who's
man.
what's the picture on your profile? What is the picture? Can you explain it?
Uh, because this is my teacher. He and she's he's so profession, and she did it ISG. You know, ISG is international seminar guide. This is
Ah, she's a
this
mentor.
is American certificate because she's so professional. Yeah, this picture together, it's my pleasure. Right. So yeah,
Mm-mm, okay.
yeah.
Okay. She's a strong mentor. She's someone who's helped
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
very cool. Okay,
yeah.
cool. All right.
So uh, Jonathan, you share about so many good healthy, and I just wanna ask you what's what's your dream?
What's
What's
my
your
dream?
yeah?
You know, um, I do have, I have things that I think are the perfect life, but as life goes on, I realize um, not so much that it's not achievable, but it's not as desirable as I thought. Like sometimes things pop up and you think that would be great. Like I thought at one time it would be great to travel to all of your countries and show
Uh-huh.
you guys, I mean, everyone who's in the audience,
Right.
show everyone how they can achieve better fluency for free with each other face to face.
Yeah.
Because people think you need to pay, you need to wait, you need to get a native speaker, and it's not true. So I
Okay.
thought that would be a wonderful thing to be able to do. But as time goes on, as I get older, I think, okay, that was just a concept. That's not a reality. Then I thought if I developed videos like on YouTube and Billy and Redbook, and if I traveled my
Okay.
country and just made educational videos,
Mm-hmm.
that would be wonderful. If I could just
Mm-hmm.
travel in a modified vehicle and sleep in it and
Mm-hmm.
show you guys our country. And that was something that passed because YouTube and all of those channels
Mm-hmm.
require more of a business model now, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about how many followers I have or how many people
Mm,
think I'm, So that's not going to work, right? In that
yeah.
environment, you have to really care about that and get everyone to like and share and subscribe and comment. And
Yeah.
that's not me. So now I think my dream is essentially satisfied every day.
Okay.
I woke up this morning.
Uh-huh.
Um, I'm breathing. I have my health. I
Okay.
have a job.
Yeah. You
I
have a
have a
wonderful
place to
job.
stay.
Mm,
My job I enjoy.
mm,
Sometimes I wish I didn't have to be there 8 or 9 hours a day. Um, but I think all of us can be living in the dream right now. You don't have to wait for that much money or that big of a house or that kind of a
yeah.
car or
The
that
millionaires.
particular lady.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow we may not be here, and I don't mean to be ominous about that, but nobody is promised tomorrow. There's no promise for
Yeah.
tomorrow. You don't,
Yeah.
you don't, you know. So I think it's important to exchange the life we have today for today.
Yeah.
And all of you that I know and don't know, um, you help to make that possible for me. Because when I wake up and I interact with you guys, I feel very satisfied. And I go to my job and I experience things there and meet people there that I'm satisfied with. But my happiness is not contingent upon whether I have a tomorrow or not. Because I
Mm,
might not have a tomorrow, right?
mm,
So, I mean, I try to think also like this, and maybe I'm going off track, but I think about all my social media, all my electronics. I think about what would people think about me
mm,
if they had to come clean my room because I died? Would they see the things in my room on my computer, in those hidden places on my computer that supported the person I present myself to be? Or would they find things and go, "Oh, I thought he was such wow, I can't believe he's looking at these things. I can't believe he's doing this stuff." So
uh,
I try to think about that. What would people see confirmation of the person they thought I was if they went through my stuff after I died? Or would they see that I was faking it? That I really
okay. Okay.
had, you see
Okay.
what I mean? So,
Yeah.
um, all that being said, I do think about that when I go to bed. Like, if I no longer existed, would my life be represented by my room or by my belongings or whatever?
Mm,
So, anyway, guys, I know sometimes we go down these trails, but life is really important to exchange your life every day and be grateful every day for the things you have. And we need to learn to embrace the challenges better, right? Because there's always going to be a challenge, man.
yeah.
And in transparency, guys, I didn't do well recently. I was by myself at my company and I had a lot of customers. We have very few staff this time of year. I
Yeah.
had a whole bunch of customers I couldn't take care of.
Yeah.
And the stress was on. And one person that I work with walked by and asked me if I was okay. And I wasn't okay. And I must have looked at him a certain way. Like, how could you ask me that when the sky's falling, everything's happening around me?
Mm,
And he was
yeah.
upset by that. He's still offended by that. He says, "You turned into a different person the other day."
Yeah.
I was under stress, man.
Yeah.
Help
Yeah.
me, save me. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not always this way.
Yeah.
But did I answer that? I talked a lot, but did I answer any
That's
part of your
okay.
question?
That's makes sense. That's a good point. You're a lucky person. Lucky person. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember you. Uh. You were mentioned to the Bible. You read the Bible, right?
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Wow. That's great. But I just yeah the maybe last year I was trying to read this Chinese uh, Bible, translate,
Hmm.
but I can't understand what that's meaning. It's so difficult for me, right? Yeah.
But you're familiar with wise sayings. When I first got saved,
Mm-hmm.
is because I ruined everything. Everything I thought what was up is now down, and everything was just all. And I started by reading Proverbs in the Bible. It's in the middle of the Bible. Just open it up in the middle. And those Proverbs they seem like little wise sayings, right?
Yeah.
Proverbs is a thought. And I had struggled with abusing alcohol in my past. My parents were
Yeah.
both abusers of
Okay.
alcohol. So when I started reading different proverbs talking about what it's like to be hurting yourself and not know how you got hurt, or to feel like you're on the top of a ship and the whole world's, I was like, what is this doing? I thought this is some kind of holy book, and why is it talking about what what I did in my life? So I could start to relate to what it was saying about abusing alcohol and how it leaves us feeling. And I was like, wow. And I know there are some people who can drink alcohol with their dinner, and I'm not attacking your industry. I'm
Mm.
saying in my family we abused it. And um and so um that's what caused me to read even more and say, if this is true and it knows what it's like for me in my messed up life, then what else in here is true? And I started looking at it, and then it started creating. So that helped me.
Mm.
But anyway, guys, I know we're not supposed to talk about a lot of these things in depth, but if I were married and you told me not to talk about my wife on a live stream, I would have to ignore that rule because
Yeah.
your spouse is something you never will deny in public and you wouldn't hide her, right? So for me, the biggest part of my life is becoming a Christian. So if people ask things like this, I'm going to talk about it, come what may, but I'm also going to respect the guidelines. But if anybody wants to talk to me about my Christianity and my life, you can direct message me, and
Okay.
I'm so happy to talk about these things
Yeah.
because it has changed my whole life. So, and chances are, if you guys enjoy the live stream or who you think I am, it's because of that. So can't deny it. It's a wonderful thing. So. Um, but yeah, absolutely, buddy. Absolutely. Anytime. And I see that I've tried to text you before, but I'm not sure what I
Uh,
was saying. I wrote you a few words. I'm not sure what I was saying. So
yeah.
please just text me, okay, George, and we can talk about it
Yeah.
with more than just one word. Yeah, we'll have some several words.
Yeah. You share about us. It's yeah. So many word, but you say maybe some words. I don't know. Yeah, I need to work hard. So
Write them down.
when I was I don't know this word, I would just want try to write down on the paper.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
that's
so
excellent.
yeah, I just maybe it's English is not my mother language, and just need to work hard and just want more practice. When I was maybe last year, I used the the hard talk is 1 year. Yeah, I was used to the hard talk 1 year, and when I was first on the stage face to face to practice English, I was so shy. I was
Hmm.
so afraid that I would did the mistakes, and yeah, but today I be more confident. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well, you
yeah.
mentioned You
Mm,
mentioned tennis, George. You mentioned
yeah.
playing tennis.
Yeah.
Table tennis or real tennis?
Yeah.
Real
Yeah.
real tennis?
Uh, table
Like,
tennis.
oh,
Table
table
tennis.
tennis. Okay,
Yeah.
table
Yeah.
tennis. I wanted
Yeah.
to give the right illustration. So, in table tennis, some countries call it ping pong. I think table tennis sounds more professional. So,
Oh.
table tennis, guys. George, can you imagine? Can you imagine, George,
Mm,
if you went and saw when you first discovered table tennis and you
mm,
saw the paddle and you saw the ball and you
uh,
thought, what if I hit the net? What if I hit this and it goes over the I'm not going to play
oh. Oh.
because
Okay.
I know I'm going to mess up. No, of course not. You got it. You try. Oh, okay. You eventually you hit the net and then you tried to bounce it. You watched other people and then you developed a technique that was more consistent. So you became more confident. Then you said, well, I need to learn how to serve really good. So you learn how to serve or put a spin on it. When you serve, you learned how to do it frontwards and backwards, but you made a lot of failures along the way
Okay.
and you learned.
Okay.
You
I got it.
failed, you
Yeah.
learned. So
Yeah.
everything in life is that way. Is
Yeah.
you have to get in it
Yeah.
before you can refine it and do it. And English is
Uh,
the same thing, brother.
when I was here, the nobody is perfect. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. So maybe need more practice. I think it's encouraging to me, encouraging for me, right? It's
Yeah,
I think it's power, right? Eh,
it
I
is.
yeah. Recently, I will just try to read about the simple English book. I just want to share you. Yeah, this book,
All right.
it's Charlie.
Oh, Charlotte's Web.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Charlotte's Web. It's
Yeah, but
famous.
it's so many new word. Yeah, I never say those, right. So it's I think it's useful, maybe more um day in day out, and it's a development for me, right.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
guys, the phrase is, guys, in the chat, those of you in the audience, practice
um,
makes perfect is the expression, but I've modified it. So practice
uh,
makes progress is more
okay,
realistic. If you guys are trying to be perfect, you're going to be frustrated because it doesn't exist.
okay.
Practice does make progress. And so you need to be able to see your progress. Now, back to George, as far as reading Charlotte's Web, it's also important to have achievable progress. So if you read a book like Charlotte's Web and you find that you cannot get through a whole paragraph or chapter because there's so many new words, then perhaps you
Yes,
should dial it down a little bit and choose a more simple book that only has one or two words per chapter, or something that you can feel successful with as you go, and oh, that's a different word.
yeah,
Because if you can't make it through a whole chapter without writing down 30 words, you're going to feel frustrated. Like your
yeah,
progress is going to be so small. So use Charlotte's Web as your goal, but
yeah,
start with a book that's at a lower level so that you feel encouraged as you read it, as you recognize many of the words, and occasionally you'll see a different word and you go, oh, and then build on that. That
yeah,
way you have the sense of achievement all the time. We need to feel that we're making progress, right?
yeah, yeah,
So, yeah, if you've ever been in the ocean or you've climbed a big mountain, if you don't have shorter goals leading to the top of the mountain or shorter goals leading to your destination, you'll feel like you're never getting there. You're like,
yeah,
I've been I've been climbing for 2 hours and it still looks so far away. But if you realize I'm going to make it to that plateau, I'm going to make it to that set of trees, I'm going to make it to that particular part of the mountain, now you feel like you're making progress, and eventually you go, "Oh, ooh, look at this view. I'm up at the top. I did it." So you need to have
yeah,
smaller, achievable goals on the way to the big one. And
yeah,
George, I can hear with your English, I can already hear how much progress you've made because you
um,
are putting your thoughts into appropriate phrases, and you're not using the most simple words. You're appropriately using a mixture of words to express yourself. So maybe you don't feel like you've made progress, or because your goals are so big you feel like you're at a certain level, but I hear a very diminished accent, so I can tell that you've been shadowing and trying to say things more professionally like a native. And so, take the time to reach your hand around and give yourself a pat, because you have made progress. You do
okay.
sound like a professional wine distributor. You do.
Oh, wow.
So good
Yeah,
job.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jonathan. I just appreciate that.
Huh?
Um, you mentioned about the travel. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
How many how many country have you been?
Oh, all my traveling was when I was a young man, so I haven't
Okay.
really been to another country in many, many years. So I
Okay.
don't know if it's relative, but when I joined the Navy as a young man out of high school, We went all over the Mediterranean Sea. So, and I've listed those
Okay.
countries for years, but frankly, so much has changed in the world that I can't even say that I know anything about those countries by visiting them back then, because that was in the 80s, guys, the 1980s. And I went to Taiwan at one point, but again, at the time they were building skyscrapers so quickly. There was like 8 cranes in the air in Taipei. And
Yeah.
now everything is so different. So um, I still want to travel
Hmm.
as a person now. Um, but guys, you know what? I don't even really want to see stuff. I want to see people.
Yeah.
So I'm not a food person. I'll eat the food that's there, but the perfect, you mentioned dreaming earlier, the perfect trip to your country, whoever's listening in the chat, and as well as George, the perfect trip for
Yeah.
me to any country would be when I could go there and meet with people that I've known here on Hello Talk, meet your families, stay in your town, eat food at your house, and know that it didn't cost you anything for me to visit financially. I
Okay.
don't want you to change your world or your patterns or your diet or think you have to take me to some fancy historical site. I'm really there to get to know you. And because that's my makeup, that would be the perfect trip is to spend time with you and your family in your regular routines, not in some tourist attraction, seeing some I don't at this phase of my life I don't care about those things. Architecture is amazing, history is interesting, but people, getting to know you guys as a person, as a real person is priceless to me. And that would be the perfect trip. But it's never going to happen, George, because everyone's going to say, "Oh, I have to take you to this restaurant. Oh, you need to see the Great Wall of China. Oh, you need to see."
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really
I know.
don't. I
I
don't need
know
to
you're
see
not.
those things.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, because George, if I were dying this week, I'm very comfortable with that topic, and I know some of you are like, "Oh, don't say that." If I knew that I were dying this week, I will guarantee you this. I will not be thinking about what kind of car I drive. I will not be thinking about, because I don't own a car. I would not be thinking about what college degree I achieved. And I would not be thinking about how beautiful the Great Wall of China is, or the, Suez Canal, or the Rock of Gibraltar, or the Mount St. Helens, or whatever. I'd be thinking about the time I spent with people.
mhm.
That would be one of the most valuable things I would be thinking about all week long if I knew that I was dying next week, and I would want to spend more time with those people, like real
Okay.
time. So I try to live that way every day. I try to spend real time with people.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
yeah,
Wow. Let's see. Imagine I learned about so many knowledge from you. Right. It's it's great. It's a wonderful night. Yeah. Yeah.
I hope
Yes.
you were taking
You.
notes because there's going to be a quiz next week.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I hope I can. I hope I can. Yeah. It's I just want to one asking question for you. And which country do you prefer?
Well, I mean, I I think
America.
prefers a different word. I mean, I would my first trip almost has to be China, just because
Oh,
I know so many people there through this app. Candy's one of them. Um, that I need to visit. A lot of people that I've met through here in China. Um, so China as a country, I think, is awesome. Um,
okay.
I'm so impressed with the world influence now that China has, and I know a lot of people don't acknowledge it. I don't know why, but China's a world leader now, and there's nothing wrong with that. They
Mm,
influence, they innovate, they invent, they are in the front lines of doing things that no one else is doing. I think
okay.
it's amazing. But also other countries. Calm
Uh-huh.
down, Moneta. Moneta, our moderator. She's from Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia is also engaged in some world changing projects like the Line City. If you guys haven't searched it out, look up
Yeah.
the city that they're building called the Line. It's literally a straight city with tall walls that protect them from the desert that everyone can do their daily routine without a vehicle.
Uh-huh.
It's an amazing, huge, multi, probably $1 trillion project, and they're already doing it. So, Saudi Arabia is an amazing country, and of course, Moneta's there. So, would have to meet Moneta. Um,
Saudi, it is, sorry, it is a country in Africa.
Saudi Arabia.
Uh-huh.
Look it up on your map. Look it up on your map. Saudi
Okay.
Arabia.
Sorry.
hmm
Sorry.
I'm going to give you an assignment.
Okay.
So guys, but all of your
Oh,
countries, and I
sorry.
and I say all of them,
Okay.
all of your countries, no matter where you're from, guys. I wish I could visit you guys as people, not as an ambassador of the United States. I wish I could visit you as people because I know sometimes countries have different positions they project, and I don't subscribe to that. I don't subscribe to a world position based on your country. I think you're all individual people with personalities. And I think in many ways, you all have amazing countries and cultures that sometimes is not showcased the way it should be. It should be shown in all of its grandeur. But I don't subscribe to the world interaction the way it's presented on media. I think it's often very, very, very wrong and it has an agenda. And so I think here on Hello Talk, and I'm so grateful for you, Hello Talk, we are able to
Yeah.
be like our own little world and celebrate our differences and get to know each other. And I'm so grateful that Hello Talk makes that possible, right? So I mean that sincerely. I don't think it's possible in the span of my life to visit all of you in your countries because of the way the world is, but I'm grateful that we are so diverse. But China, I would like to visit my many friends in China as people though. I really don't want to see the Great Wall, guys. I don't want to go spend a whole day walking. I'm sure it's impressive. I'm sure it's amazing. And I don't mean to be offensive, but I'd rather spend time with you guys and your family, getting to know you as people. That would be amazing to me. So, anyway, you guys have heard it several times. That's my trip. I want to
Oh,
come sleep on your
okay.
couch.
Okay.
I
Okay.
want to come sleep on your couch.
Okay.
Well, thank you for asking me that, George. I know you're VIP, so you haven't been short on time. But, George,
Yeah.
you've helped me because so many times people accuse me of only having women on my stage. So you've helped me a lot today. People see George,
Really.
everybody, all you guys, you see George. George is a
Okay.
guy. We've been talking for a while. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
I'm going
See
to say
you,
bye. Thank you so
Jonathan.
much.
Have a nice day. Have a
Thank
nice
you,
day.
buddy.
Wonderful time.
Enjoy your evening.
See
See
you.
that, guys?
Bye.
George is an amazing man from China, and I'm so grateful for him. I've talked with him once before. I meant the things I said, guys. Eileen, are you our Eileen? Your picture looks different. Um, we have a wonderful Ferda. I see you. I've seen you. Hi, Sally. Yeah. Um, guys, I think today is Wednesday, right? Yeah, today is Wednesday. So listen, guys, let me talk with you for a moment. It's so good to see you. Hi, Rahma. Hi, Oo. I know, guys. Hi, Dana. Chen. Hello, hello. So listen, guys. Today is Wednesday evening in China. Apricot, I see you're here. Hey, Sniper. Um, I will not be having a live stream tomorrow because tomorrow's Thursday and I start work at 5 a.m. We normally start our live stream at 5 a.m. So I know. I'm sorry.